Hey everybody, Brand here with Nutrition First Coaching, and on this week's Whiteboard Wednesday video, we're going to see, are you a victim? We're going to talk about thoughts, words, actions, and who you are. How all these things tie together and what could be holding you back from making significant changes in your life, and how to start from the ground up and change your view of the world or the stories that you tell yourself, so that you won't be a victim and you take control of your life. All right, let's get into the video. Are you a victim? This can be called different things. I like to call it victim talk, or this victim mentality, that everything's against you. Everything happens to you, and what's going on in your life, you're just an innocent, passive bystander on these things that are going on. And this comes out in language, obviously in actions, but that language comes from your thoughts, and those thoughts become your words. Those words become your actions. Your actions are who you are. And if we think about that, thoughts, self-talk, words, and actions, let's go back to the basic part here. Let's go back to thoughts and words, and let's see what is going on with this victim mentality. And when I talk to a lot of people that have tried a bunch of different ways to lose weight, they've tried to do these things to change their lifestyle, to change their health, to change what's happening in their life and the outcomes that are coming out of the actions they're performing on a daily basis. We got to start with the word try. So let's go back to the start here. Something happened to me. Nothing happens to you. Things happen around you. Things happen in the world. Things happen in your life. What you can control is how you respond to these situations, how you react to these situations, and what you do. And this dictates who you are. So when you have that victim mindset, and let me preface this by saying, I'm not putting this as a total negative thing. This is the way a lot of us have come to see the world and think about things through the world. So don't take this as a real negative thing that you're a victim. Take this as a way to improve some of the language you use, and this will start to roll back into your thoughts about what you can control and what is reality in your life. So let's go into a few different ways that we use these different words or this language in our life, and they have categories. So the first one is called negations. And this is when you're going to use some common words like don't, can't, shouldn't, wouldn't, won't, not, couldn't. I want to lose weight, but I can't. And I didn't want to eat that food, but I couldn't resist. So those are things where you're saying you give up control of whatever's going on in that situation. So by negation, it just happens to you. You just happen to eat 2 donuts because you couldn't not eat the donuts, so you ate them, and that was, it just happened to you. Now, another thing we do a lot is soft talk, and you'll start to notice this in people's language, especially when they write emails or send you text messages or something too. And the soft talk is where somebody is obviously not quite committed to what they're saying or wanting to do. So they use a lot of words like might, trying, kind of, maybe, I guess. This is a lot, like if you have kids and teenagers like I have in my house. Hey, what do you want for dinner? You want Mexican food, or should we make something at home? Yeah, I guess that's fine. It's like, okay, which one do you want in that situation? It's like, oh, I don't know. I kind of want Mexican food. Do you want it or don't? So it's where you have this lack of commitment to whatever you're doing. And if you go through, to give you something practical to work on here, if you go through some emails you've written or text messages, notice if you have some of these words in your language. Like maybe we should have a meeting. take out the maybe. Let's have a meeting. Then you know you're going to have this meeting. You're telling that person what you want to do, because sometimes if you read that, well, maybe should we have a meeting? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? The next category is projections. So this is where we circle back around to this victim mentality, or that you're a victim. And what we're looking at here is people saying, he or she did this to me. They did that to me. My wife or my husband, they made me do this thing. You know, and this goes back to kids, and you'll hear this language with them too. And yeah, the coach made me do this drill over and over. Not, I did this drill over and over because the coach told me and it really helped my serving, or fill in the blank of whatever skill you're working on. This is when you start to take some responsibility for the things you're doing, and you start to actually have that ownership that you're going to do them. Not that somebody else made you do this or did this to you. You know, I was really trying to eat healthy, but my husband made me go out to dinner and I accidentally ate half a pizza. You know, not the accidentally part. It doesn't really fit in there, but you know what I'm saying. My husband made me go out to dinner. Express how you feel about that. Take some control of the situation. If you want to go out to dinner with your husband, make some better choices when you're there, because you can make those choices. Don't say, well, I should have made this choice, but I didn't make this one. I guess I could have done this. Do you hear all the wavering and all the lack of conviction in those words and in that way of thinking? This is something we work on a lot when I start talking to people and we start getting into how do they make long-term changes. And that's looking at the story they tell themselves. And that's that person's reality. And how do they change some of the language around that? And I think the best way to do this is you start writing some stuff out. Write it out, see what words come out when you put them down on paper. And where can you start to see some of these things falling into your language, and starting to see that you can take control of some of these spots and you're not a victim to what's happening to you. You're in charge of how you're going to react to the things that are happening in the world and around you, so that you can take charge of your health, your body composition, your movement, your injuries, fill in the blank, whatever you have going on, you can be in charge of improving those situations. So this may seem like it's off topic from anything related to nutrition, but if we're not getting our mindset correctly, and we have this mentality that we can only react to the things in the world and all this stuff's happening to us, versus taking charge of these things and getting rid of some of this language so that we are confident we are going to do something and that nothing's happening to us, it's how we're reacting to those things. That's when we can really start to make long-term changes in everything around us, because everything will start to change in your reality, which is what's really going on around you, is that story you're telling yourself. All right, thanks for your time. Like and subscribe if you have some questions about this. I'm probably going to do a few videos on this and just mindset and getting yourself right, getting things straight, so that as you move forward, you're in charge. Have a great week. Talk to you later.